Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about what is new in this update because there's quite a few things, including of course the Slayer class. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the very first thing I want to get out of the way is of course today's keyword, and it is shoot_sword_chronicles. All in lowercase. Once you've typed that, you're simply going to press escape, go to systems over here, get campaign items, and receive item account. Now I've already redeemed it, but you will get 50 star gems as well as a weapon camo this time. No more ragdoll memories. Now this is the weapon camo that you will get, and it actually looks really badass. You can see over here in all its glory, it is a very nice weapon camo for your gunblade. So if you do need a gunblade weapon camo, you can definitely rock this. I'm actually rocking this the entire time because I really like the design. It just looks very nice and matches my color scheme very well. But with that out of the way, of course, we need to talk about the new class, which is of course the Slayer. The Slayer is now available in game, so you can play as the Slayer, level it up all the way to level 70, and start experimenting with its rotations and learning the class. Personally, I think the Slayer class is a very fun class, but we're going to talk more about that later in the video as I need to cover all the different campaigns which are currently going on. So circling back to the free items we got, if we go to systems over here, get campaign items as well as receive item account, you're going to notice that we did get an apology for the pre-announced urgent quest with boost over here. You can see we get an end rare drop rate plus 25%. There's the get gift Slayer support items over here, which give us a bunch of other goodies, including arms refiners as well as arms refiners 2. So make sure to pick these up. And last but not least, we also get a Slayer operation preparation ticket. So that's an additional ticket which will allow us to have 21 tickets instead of the regular 20 if you did the campaign that was available last month. Alright, with all of that out of the way, the next thing I want to talk about is the mission pass. As you can see at tier 6, we now do get a mission pass storage use for 30 days. So by using this ticket, you will unlock the mission pass storage over here. As you can see, it's not purchased yet. However, the moment that I use it, as you can see here, boom, now I have access to the mission pass storage, which is 300 slots. Now the way that the mission pass storage works is exactly the same way as regular storage. You can put anything in it. As you can see over here, I literally just put all of my extra weapon camos as well as outfits into the mission pass storage, so it's essentially 300 extra storage space, so that's really nice. Now don't forget, in the mission pass, when you get to tier 20 at the gold reward, there is the Slashin Slayer ticket, which is a selector ticket for the SG scratch over here, so you can pick any item over here. Now this includes the old items as well. As you can see here, all of these are the old items as it does not have the new icon next to it. You can see here these have new icons, which means these are from the Slayer scratch, and the ones without the new icon means that they are from the Volcanic Heart scratch. But you can use the Slashin Slayer ticket to pick up the old Volcanic Heart items if you want that. However, for most people, I'm pretty sure you're going to be picking up the Slayer items, especially this weapon camo over here, as it is a color variant, which means it does change the effects of your photon arts to green. So I know a lot of people are looking for this weapon camo. So if you do want this weapon camo, but you don't want to spend the star gems, you can just use your selector ticket, pick up this gunblade, and you're good to go. The next thing I want to talk about is of course the augmentation boost over here. So as you can see over here, the enhancement, limit break, add augment, unlock potential, as well as multi-weapon, they're all yellow because there are campaigns going on right now. As you can see right here, series limited, so basically any gunblade, you get a great success rate plus 50%, as well as Meseta cost decreased by 50% for all of your enhancements. For limit breaking, there's a 50% and Meseta discount. For adding augments, there is a 5% augmentation aid. Please take advantage of this. As you can see over here, here is my Neo 8 gunblade. These are the augments that I've decided to use, and because of this 5% extra boost over here, I didn't have to use any of my more expensive augmentation aids because of this extra 5%. As for unlocking weapon potential, you also get a 50% discount, and even for multi-weaponing, you also get this discount. It's very nice. So if you are planning to play the Slayer, or maybe you're planning to main the Slayer, it is a very good time to augment as well as fully enhance your gunblade. Remember, all of these boost events only apply to the gunblade. It does not apply to your armors, does not apply to anything else. It's gunblade exclusive, okay? Now something I forgot to mention is under the limited time task over here, there is a specific task right here which will give you a Slayer pose. So in order to use the Slayer pose, you can see right here, I'm just going to show you what it looks like because it looks pretty badass. As you can see right here, this is the Slayer pose. You can get this absolutely free just by completing that task, so make sure that you do it. But now to talk about the Slayer class itself. The Slayer is a very fun class. I personally enjoyed playing the Slayer. However, Slayer is definitely not going to be my main class. I am still going to be playing Braver main class, and I might do Slayer subclass for specific content, but for the majority of the content, I still think Braver Force is going to be better. The reason I say this is because of critical hit PP gain over here. As we can see right here, there is a chance of recovering PP when you land a critical hit. However, there is an internal cooldown over here of 1 second. So even though I put 5 points into this, so that means there's an activation probability of 100%. As a subclass, I only gain 2 PP. So it is a little bit unfortunate that there is a cooldown for this, but nevertheless, it's still a very powerful ability, just not as strong as Force's Eradication PP gain, which recovers your PP whenever nearby enemies are defeated or downed. But now to answer the question that everyone's been bugging me about, and that is, what should I put in for the skill tree? Literally, I put 1 point in everything, and then the main things that I max out, because I'm going to be using Slayer as a subclass and not as a main class, I maxed out critical up, gallant attack critical up, as well as critical hit PP gain. However, if you are planning to play Slayer main class, you want to max out everything else before doing critical up, gallant attack critical up, as well as critical hit PP gain. Maybe do a balance between the three, or just dump them in whatever fits your personal playstyle better. However, if you're like me and you're playing Slayer as a subclass, then you definitely want to max out these 3 immediately, because these 3 are the most essential ones, pretty much the only ones that work as a subclass. So there is that. Now, of course, we do need to address the elephant in the room, and that is the critical up over here. I was expecting it to give us a lot of critical chance. Unfortunately, it is pretty pitiful. As you can see right here, critical hit rate as a main class, it gives you 5% crit rate. However, as a subclass, it only gives you 3%. So you're putting 15 points into critical up for a 3% crit rate increase. It is quite pitiful. And then on top of that, with the gallant attack critical up, as you can see here, critical rate increased by 2% on subclass and 5% on main class, and this only applies when attacking boss enemies. So if you are playing a Slayer main class, that's not too bad. You know, that's actually an extra 10% crit rate, which isn't something to sneeze at, which is pretty nice. So maybe if you are playing Slayer main class, you might want to prioritize these 2 abilities first over critical hit PP gain, or if you're having a lot of PP problems, you might want to allocate like 2 or 3 points over here if you want. It's really up to you. Now, I know a lot of people are probably wondering, okay, Kara, what's your rotation? What's the most optimal way to play da-di-da-di-da? I will have a dumbed down guide coming out tomorrow on how I personally play the Slayer. I know for a fact that the way that I'm playing is not optimal. However, the way that I play is a lot easier to digest, and I think it's a lot more beginner friendly and casual player friendly versus if you are trying to squeeze out every little bit of DPS. Because if you're trying to min max and really try to take advantage of the Slayer class, it's gonna take a little bit of a learning curve. It's not the easiest class to min-max with, and on top of that, the skill ceiling for this class is extremely high. You can deal a ton of damage, however, there is trade-offs. Your class is extremely squishy. As a melee / mid-range class, you're always in the thick of things, and you're always at risk of getting hit, and well, the Slayer class unfortunately isn't very tanky. I actually put Dreadkeeper 4 on my weapon as well as my armors, and I still die very quickly if I just get hit a couple times. It's nowhere near the tankiness as the Braver, even though they have the same armors, even though they have the same augments, so forth and so on. It's just not the same. Braver is a lot more tankier than the Slayer class. However, if we talk about raw damage, Slayer has the potential to deal insane amounts of damage, which is really cool and really fun. So my initial impressions of the Slayer class is it is a great class. It's a very fun class. They've kind of reintroduced perfect attacks into the Slayer gameplay. However, we're going to talk more about that in this week's Arcs Trash Evolution podcast. Yes, there is going to be another episode coming out this week. I'm going to be overworking myself and editing like crazy, but it's okay. It's content for you guys, and I think it's worth it. But overall, Slayer feels good. So I think that's the most important thing. The Slayer feels fluid, feels fast, and it feels good and powerful to play. So That's pretty much the key takeaway is, hey, Slayer class is a very fun class. If you want to play it, by all means go ahead. But if it is a little bit too complicated, if it is a little bit too crazy, just wait for tomorrow's video as I break things down to the basics, because if you only focus on the basics, the class is a lot more manageable. It's when you start trying to min-max and squeeze in damage, that's when the class gets a little bit hectic and it'll definitely feel very overwhelming to begin with. But with time, I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be able to master this class if you put in the time and the effort. Now let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about the Slayer class?
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!